Yo, what's going on, guys? Today, I'm gonna be making another Scream 6 video talking about some more news that we've just gotten from ViewerAnon. Now, a lot of today, I actually made a video earlier where I was kind of like backtracking on some of the stuff I said in my last video, and I was giving more theories about this picture right here with Ghostface with the shotgun. And I was making a video today, basically getting more deep into this picture and a whole bunch of theories and stuff. But then ViewerAnon dropped more news today, and then I was just like, oh my gosh, now I gotta cover this stuff as well. So this video is gonna be just all over the place, honestly. So my bad, guys. Like, it's just so hard to keep track of all this Scream 6 news lately. So bear with me here, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy. Basically, today Viewer Anon had posted some some news that on Twitter he posted like three things on. He said here that I don't believe the Scream 6 trailer release is imminent unless something changes. I'm still hearing Babylon slash Megan time. Would be happy to be wrong in this case. Lots of fun things for people to speculate about. So in here, basically, he's saying that he basically is saying that the Scream 6 trailer, it might come out around the time the Megan movie comes out, which I'm pretty sure is like near December. I'm pretty sure, or no, not the trailer, but like the movie. Um, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure the movie comes out around December, towards the end of January. I'm not too sure, but he's basically predicting that the Scream 6 trailer will come around that time, which is like literally in the, towards the end of December. So yeah, maybe that's what he's suggesting here. And like I said, I made a video talking about all this stuff. I honestly think we're not gonna get a trailer, our first Scream 6 trailer until probably in like mid-December or late December, you know. And I think it's possible we get it, a little bit before Christmas or a little bit after Christmas. So or we could get it on Christmas. Imagine getting the Scream 6 trailer on Christmas Day. I mean, that would just be awesome. But, or on Christmas Eve, the day before Christmas. Like, anything's possible. But I think around that time is when we'll get the Scream 6 trailer, if I'm predicting. So, yeah, that's basically what he said here. He also said he retweeted this image from Universal Horror where they show the actual logo, the confirmed title, and the tagline for the poster, I guess. It says New York, new rules, and then it has the logo, Scream, and then it has the little M at the end with the V and the I. It's like sort of connected but also separate. I think that's really cool. I'm not sure. Granted, like I said, I don't know if this is true. This is from Universal Horror. He's also the one that posted this picture right here with Ghostface with the shotgun. I made a video on that too. And he posted this as well, and I posted, with the whole group staring at they're in the theater in the museum and they're just staring at the glass displays, I guess, from what ViewerAnon said, and the masks and costumes get stolen, and that's what they're witnessing here in this picture. So Universal Horror posted three things, and I made a whole video on all of them. And now he posted this today of this Scream, basically this Scream, poster, and like he's basically saying that this is the actual confirmed title, which we've already kind of, we kind of knew that from ViewerAnon because he said that we were going to have Scream 6 be with the Roman numeral 6. So we kind of knew that. And there was a whole bunch of, I remember seeing fan made trailers. I mean, not trailers, fan made posters with the Scream, logo, and it has the M kind of has like a V, and then the other side of the M has an I. I remember seeing that like since last week, just fan made posters with that Scream logo, and it seems like this is actually gonna be it. They're actually going with that. So, like I said though, I don't know if this is true, but this seems to be the case. You know, probably is going to be the case. New York, new rules with this Scream logo. And I think it's very clever. The V and the M are the V and the I are connected, and it shows that it's a Roman numeral 6, and it's part of the M. And then it says the tagline is New York, new rules. I honestly like it, and I've honestly I like it and I enjoy it, but I've honestly seen so many fans on the internet though that they don't like this either. Like, because I made a video yesterday talking about the whole Ghostface shotgun picture, and how fans are, some fans are upset about seeing Ghostface kill someone with a shotgun because they think it's dumb and stuff like that. And I talked about how a lot of these same fans wanted something new, they wanted something different, and yet they still complain. And I talked about that. And I'm not really directing that towards every fan who is not a fan of the idea of Ghostface using a shotgun to kill someone. Like I'm not directing that at everyone, but it's more so just the fans who are trying to say that, this movie's gonna suck just because they're not a fan of a certain idea. Like that's who I'm mainly directing that to, because like come on now, like the movie hasn't even came out, and just because you're not a fan of Ghostface possibly using a shotgun, and killing someone with it, you're not a fan of this idea, that means that the movie's gonna suck. The movie hasn't even came out yet, you know? Like it just makes no sense. And that's who I'm directing that to. And like I said, I'm a fan of this idea. I made a whole video on it yesterday. I'm a fan of Ghostface killing someone with a gun because we've never seen Ghostface kill someone. We've never seen any of the killers in this franchise kill someone with a gun while they're in the costume. They always, use their guns after they reveal themselves. But we've never seen a Ghostface killer kill someone with a gun while they're in the costume. And I think it's just new and different, and that's why I like this idea. And I've seen fans who are not a fan of this idea and are trying to say that this movie's gonna suck just because they're not a fan of this idea, and it just makes no sense. Like, it just because you're not a fan of this idea doesn't mean this movie's gonna suck. The movie hasn't came out yet, like how you can't base your opinions off of just one thing, you know. So that's kind of where I'm trying to get at here. And some fans are not a fan of this tagline either of New York New Rules because they think it's a cheesy tagline, which I get it. It's not. I get that, but at the same time, this franchise is kind of known for having cheesy stuff ingrained into it. That's kind of a part. That's the cheese factor is a part of this franchise. It's part of the reason why we love this franchise, because this franchise doesn't take itself too seriously. You can just have a fun time with it and enjoy it, and while also being at the edge of your seat at times. And I think the that's kind of like the lovable thing about this franchise. It's just the horror slash comedy, elements to it. And people are trying to say that this is a cheesy tagline, with the New York New Rules thing, but it's like I think it works for this franchise. This franchise has always had cheesy, corniness to it, and I think this tagline honestly works for how this franchise kind of is. And like I said, I'm not saying that as a bad thing, but that's what this franchise kind of is. It's a good thing, if anything, because Like I said, it doesn't. This is a franchise that doesn't take itself too seriously, and that's why we love it. It's just a very entertaining, fun franchise that you. Well, my bad, guys. My AirPods died right now, but hopefully you guys can still hear me. But yeah, basically, um, this is a franchise that doesn't take itself too seriously, and I think that's what's so enjoyable about it. And people, I've even seen people try to say that, this New York New Rules tagline is just copying the tagline from Scream 4, where, because if you guys saw the Scream 4 poster, the tagline it has on there is, it says new decade, new rules. And then, it says new decade, new rules. So, and then this one for Scream 6, the tagline for the poster says New York, new rules. And I've seen fans say that, oh, they're just trying to copy Scream 4's tagline. And they're probably just going to copy Scream 4 this whole movie, and all this stuff. And they're even copying Scream 4 with the, where they had, instead of the A, they had a 4 in the middle of the A. And they're just trying to copy that with the poster as well. And it's just like, bro, there's a difference between paying homage versus, just straight up just trying to copy something else. Like, I don't see this as copying Scream 4's, poster or anything like that. I see it as just homage and just a little fun, a fun title and tagline for the poster. I don't see this as a big deal, honestly. It's, if anything, it's paying homage while also trying to do it in its own way, and and stuff like that. And I think it's cool. I honestly like it. I like the title and how the Roman numeral V and the I are part of the M, and they're highlighted. They're highlighted in red too, so you can notice it. And then the tagline is New York, New Rules. I just love it. I'm honestly a big fan of it. I know not everyone is, but I personally enjoy it. He also said here that, I'm trying to check. Okay. He says here as well, ViewerAnon also said here, I get asked who the opening victim in Scream 6 is a lot. I don't want to reveal that because it's a clever, surprising sequence. It's also not a simple answer. Imagine if in 2010, you asked who the opening victim in Scream 4 is. The opening of Scream 6 does not feature stab footage or any fake outs like Scream 4. It just keeps you on your toes in a similar way. Which is an interesting thing to say because, like, I was just like, at first when my bad, guys, but, when I first saw him say this, I was like, wait, what does this mean? Like, what does he mean by it's, it's not gonna have the Scream 6 opening is not gonna have stab footage or any fake outs like Scream 4, but it's gonna keep you on your toes in a similar way. I was just like, what does he mean by that? But then I was just like, I kind of just thought about it. And I was just like, because the Scream 4 opening, it does kind of keep you on your toes in a way where it's like, because a lot of the times, when we finally got to the actual opening of Scream 4, we saw Jenny and Marnie. They were like kind of like, messing with each other and teasing each other. And, Marnie, she was the one playing that, she played a prank on Jenny and, pretending to be Ghostface calling her. But then once, Jenny disappeared, then we're like, oh, like what? Like Ghostface definitely killed her. Like what the hell happened? And, Marnie goes back downstairs to check for her. And we're kind of like on our, kind of, the tension is kind of building up now because we're like, yo, like, what the hell happened? Like, where did she go? Like, what's going on? And then that's when Ghostface calls Marnie. And, they have that whole, discussion. And then Ghostface just throws her body through the window. And we're like, yo, what the and, then we kind of get that little, it's not a full chase scene, but, we kind of get a chase scene where Ghostface is chasing Marnie up the stairs in the opening of Scream 4, and then it all leads up to towards the end where he crushes her with the garage door, and then he stabs her, and then that's the opening of Scream 4. And that everything I just said right there was kind of moments in the Scream 4 opening where they kind of did keep you on your toes, and they kind of did build suspense and tension and whatnot. And I think that's kind of what he means here by that. The Scream 6 opening is going to be sort of similar, and with how they build tension and stuff like that. I don't think exactly they're just going to copy the Scream 4 opening. I don't think that's what it means, but they're sort of going to build suspense and tension similar to the Scream 4 opening with some of those things, I feel like. But either way though, yeah, I think that's what he means. And I'm glad he did say that it's not going to feature stab footage or any fake outs, because that's kind of the thing I didn't like about Scream 4's opening either, is the whole stab footage and then the fake outs. And like, I felt like Scream 4's opening was kind of dragged out for too long, and it got to a point where I just kind of got bored at some point, and I'm just like, eh. Like, because here's the thing, you know, I'm the one who's always saying that, I love the Scream movies, and, I love every Scream movie. I think, they're very good and consistent, but the openings are kind of, I've always felt different on, because I feel like, there's the openings are, there's just some openings that are just bad, and then some openings that are, decent enough. And I feel like Scream 4's opening scene is honestly my least favorite. At least in my opinion. I think it's my least favorite. It's very dragged out for too long. It's very, it's kind of a slow burn. It feels boring at times. And just, I feel like they went too long with the whole stab thing, and all the fake outs, and the jump scares, the fake jump scares, and all that stuff. It was just dragged out for too long. So I feel like that's kind of why Scream 4's opening scene is my least favorite. And plus the people that were killed in Scream 4 also weren't even that important to the story of Scream 4. And I felt like with every other Scream movie, it was kind of different, because every character that was involved with the opening scene played some kind of moment for the rest of the movie. And I felt like with Scream 4, it was just like whatever. They kind of just killed these, random people who went to Woodsboro, Woodsboro High, with Jill and Kirby and all of them, Robbie and Charlie. Like, all we knew really is that, Marnie and Jenny went to Woodsboro High School, and she was dating Trevor, and that's really all we knew. But it didn't really play that much into, the story, setting it up or anything. So that's why I felt like Scream 4's opening, for me at least, it was my least favorite. So, and, like I said, I wasn't a fan of the whole stab stuff and the fake outs. And so I'm glad that Scream 6 opening, that he said right here that it's not going to have any stab footage or any fake outs or anything like that. I'm glad the ViewerAnon said that. And yeah, that was basically all the news he said here for today. But I think he said something else yesterday, though, that I'm not too sure if I covered it, though, because I'm here. I'm always here on his channel looking for everything, bro. But I'm just looking, bro, for anything, any news that I might miss from ViewerAnon. Because I'm telling you, bro, ViewerAnon, which, like I said, go follow him on Twitter. He is a credible source for the most part. Like I said, I always say to take what is said on my channel and just in general with people on the internet with a grain of salt. Don't just believe everything on the internet. And ViewerAnon, even though he is credible as a source, that doesn't mean he can't be wrong on certain things. He even admits when he's wrong at times, because he has said before that, oh, like, I was wrong about this, or I was wrong about that. But I'm glad he at least admits when he is wrong and doesn't just try to make it seem like, what info he gave us was actually credible or reliable. He admits when he does get wrong info or something like that. And I'm glad he does that at least. So, you know, he is credible for the most part. So yeah, go follow him on Twitter. But yeah, you just never know when this dude is gonna post anything on Twitter. He's always just constantly posting stuff, and it's hard to keep track of. But but the thing is too is that he's always replying to comments on Twitter, and he adds more stuff to the the info, and I'm just like, bro, what the? Because someone on Twitter here, you can see, they ask him, are the rumors about the opening scene being set at a party true? Also, the leaked image of the bathroom full of blood, is it true? And then he said, ViewerAnon replied saying, the opening scene is not at a party. There is a suspenseful sequence in a bathroom, but I think saying if someone dies or doesn't die during it is too much of a spoiler. Now that is like, I don't know what to really say there, but like, he's saying someone may or may not die in a bathroom in the opening scene, and there it may or may not be a bloodbath or something. That's basically what he said. Like I said, we don't know if this is true, but these are just rumors that have been going around. I'm trying to see. Mm-mm-mm. I'm just trying to make sure cause I'm trying to make sure he didn't, that he didn't at least. Cause I'm trying to make sure. I don't even know what the freak that was. Bro, I'm pretty sure the thing is, like, my bad, guys. This is because I'm pretty sure he said something replying to someone at some point, and I don't know. Okay, so in here, he replies to someone who asks, please tell us if Mindy will play in Stab. If not, why does she have this hair? And then ViewerAnon replies, there's no Stab movie footage in Scream 6 that I'm aware of. So, it seems Scream 6 won't really feature Stab either, just based off what some of the things ViewerAnon has said lately about the whole Stab stuff. And if that's the case, I'm not that upset about it, because I honestly don't really think we need to see Stab be, playing a part that much in this franchise anymore. Like, I feel like, and because even though I do like the motive for Scream 5, I do like the whole setting for Scream 3 with, Stab being in Hollywood, and then Scream 4, you know, the, with them, even though I don't like the whole Stab openings, Stab fake out openings for Scream 4, I still somewhat enjoyed it. But I do think, Scream 2 probably, when they introduced Stab in Scream 2, it was probably the best and more original there. Eventually, it got kind of carried out, and I feel like we don't really need to see any more Stab stuff anymore. So, and I'm someone who really liked the motive for Scream 5. I don't mind it, but going forward, I do think we don't really need to see Stab anymore. So I'm not really upset about that. I don't think we need to see Stab footage either or anything like that. So. I'm just trying to check if because I could have sworn he replied to someone talking about Gale, something about Gale, and I just want to know if I could find it. Yes, it was right here. So right here on, someone asked him, give us a small spoiler about Gale's chasing. And then he says, the voice taunts Gale that she would have the voice taunts Gale that she would have been the best twist killer. Dewey was too sweet, and Sydney wouldn't make sense. But Gale snapping, that would have been fun. So this is probably referring to what ViewerAnon is probably referring to, is, Gale's phone call that she most likely is going to get in this movie. ViewerAnon had already talked about Gale getting a phone call for Scream 6, and I covered that on my channel. And, I was excited hearing that news because, we need a phone call with Gale. Like, why not? Like we need a phone call with Gale. This is something I've wanted for so long. And, and then him saying this right here, I'm assuming is, him referring to the phone call Gale gets with Ghostface. And Ghostface tells Gale that she would have been the best twist killer because Dewey was too sweet and Sydney wouldn't make sense. But Gale snapping, that would have been fun. That's what Ghostface tells Gale whenever he calls Gale. He basically tells her that on the phone call. And this is basically what all from ViewerAnon. This is all what he's saying. And honestly, bro, I think that's pretty. If Ghostface tells Gale that, honestly, I think I would like it, honestly, because, like, I want to see, Ghostface also kind of like, be whenever he, because that's kind of what I wanted, as well. If Ghostface did call Gale, that he would kind of be like, teasing her, but, and kind of like teasing her with Dewey, but also kind of like, torment her a little bit and kind of play with her, kind of toy with her. That's kind of what I wanted, if with the whole phone call between Ghostface and Gale. So if this is true, like Ghostface is gonna taunt Gale and be like, "Oh yeah, you would have been the best twist killer, Gale," like, because Dewey wouldn't make sense because he's too nice, and Sydney wouldn't make sense in general. But you, Gale, you snapping, that would have been fun. Like, imagine Ghostface telling that to Gale on a phone call. I feel like that would just be so much fun. I would honestly enjoy it. But let me know what you guys think. And just in general, what you guys think in the comments below about everything I talked about in this video. Man, it was a lot. It was a lot. I'm telling you. And then he replies to someone else. I think he replied to someone else yesterday. He said, someone asked ViewerAnon, do you know if Kirby acknowledges the fact that Jill was Ghostface? He says, and then ViewerAnon responds, don't know the context, but heard Kirby mentions at least Jill, Charlie, and Roman. And if this is true as well, I think that's cool, because we need some references to the past killers as well. This is kind of what I kind of had a problem with this franchise, is kind of like the fact that in every movie they only ever reference Billy and Stu, but they never reference the other killers. It's like these killers in this franchise only care about Billy and Stu, and that's it. That's kind of what I've always had a problem with. And even the characters that in every Scream movie, they only acknowledge Billy and Stu as well. It's not just the killers, but the characters in Scream, it's like they only ever reference Billy and Stu. So it would be nice to get some type of reference to maybe Jill, Charlie, Roman, Mickey, Mrs. Loomis, and the recent killers with Richie and Amber. Like, why not? So, if this is true that Kirby does, what ViewerAnon is saying, You know, if it's true that Kirby does mention at least Jill, Charlie, and Roman at some point, I honestly, I wouldn't, I think that would be cool and whatnot. But yeah, this is all the viewer and non news that I wanted to talk about here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed everything I talked about. This is just, man, this is a whole bunch of stuff that I had to cover here. And I kind of want to get more into this stuff with, the Ghostface, you know, holding this picture right here with Ghostface holding a shotgun. Because like I said, I already made a video about this yesterday. I'm sure a lot of you guys watching this have already seen it. But I kind of want to get more into this stuff. I want to give more theories about it. I want to talk more about it, just this picture and in general, and just everything. I want to talk about this picture and a whole bunch of other stuff even more, and get more deep into a whole bunch of different things, because that's what I was going to do earlier, but I ended up not being able to. And and then viewer and on posted more different news today, so now it's just like, man, it's hard to keep track of everything now. Now I have to cover more and more news. So probably tomorrow I'll release my video talking about this picture and getting more into theories about this. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.